Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pros and scrubs, welcome, and thank you for joining us here at Imba TV, where everything is just simply imbalanced. We've got our next game coming down the line right here, right now, and this is going to be a badass bout. Best of 3 stylings here at the Grand Final Series of today's Go4sc2 Cup. We've got LiquidSnute. He's going to be spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of King Sejong Station as that blue Zergy Zerg. And across the station here, we do see his opponent, as well as Emperor, to bring us the knowledge. What's up?
Well, we're gonna first off have a PvC here, as you were talking about, between LiquidSnute and NrSHunter. Map is gonna be King Sejong Station. Overall, a map I like more for certain Paradox, simply because that no matter what dirt you actually take, either breaking down rocks, taking one in the back, or taking a more standard one, there's a lot of avenues for the Zerg to be putting on some aggressive potential here. But you know, in the meantime, very standard opening seems to be coming up from Hunter. The pylon has been put down into the Nexus. Probably going to be seeing a gateway eventually coming up here, but no, continuing to chrono boosting probes here. So we might actually see a Nexus first coming down from our Paradox player here.
It definitely does appear that way. First off and foremost, I want to give a big shout out here to Dest CC for joining the Imbalonian Death Squad badass awesomes of Cool Town. Thank you so much for the follow. We love you, and we're glad you're here watching some badass StarCraft 2. We see LiquidSnute here laying down his pool in the background. Does not have his expansion plans up and out as of yet. Now, the Nexus first has gone down from Hunter. Going to go ahead and lay down that pylon at the front of his ramp of that natural as well. I'm going to be able to go into the gateway play from that point on. With the expansion come down from Snute, it's pretty standard for the most part. I mean, in the PvZ, he needs to feel out what his opponent's going to do in the first game, and that's why we see that earlier spawning pool come down from him. Doesn't really need to get the gas right away because he's not going to be going for any 2-base craziness. He just wants to make sure to get those Zerglings up to be able to deny and destroy any of the probes that do go across the map and deal with anything, or any zealots that do make it across as well. Hunter's laid down the forge, not going into that gateway after expand.
Yeah, actually just going straight into the forge. I guess that is a decent choice, especially if his opponent had gone for like a hatch first. The cannon rush possibilities would definitely have been there, and I think that's why LiquidSnute in the end choose to go for that pool first, because if you can get the Zerglings out early enough, you don't really have to worry about that kind of cheesy play coming out from your opponent.
It's a race.
Not to mention that any kind of pylon block won't work, and LiquidSnute just barely not getting that hatchery down before the probe can go and block it. So it's going to be a bit delayed here, but overall, with the Zerglings out there, it should be a big deal.
Yeah, those Zerglings are going to go ahead and deal the damage against that probe and work down the pylon as well. That pylon should fall very soon, but you know what? It is going to block that expansion for a little bit of time. So Hunter taking the +1 in the early game so far. Going to be laying down the cybernetics core right at the ramp point. Definitely troublesome for me to see, but you know what? A lot of players do it. It's very meta, and I'm not going to go ahead and fight it now. We do see Hunter going to be laying down his second assimilator within his main base. Could be seeing the double assimilator come out as well into his natural to get that tech really starting to rocket and rolling and get that gas skyrocketing in the background. Now, Snute, of course, does not need the gas for a little bit of time here. Currently sitting at the 34 drones, and this is about the time where we start to see some type of movement towards the technology plays, as he does have his third base down, done, and out. He's going to be droning up and then start to move into the double gas, maybe even triple gas, to try to buy him those, you know, the speed upgrade, get the roaches out there, and the first gas have started to go down onto the field right now.
Second one coming up as well, and as we were talking about, getting that road for and getting that speed around the 6 to 7 minute mark is very critical for the Zerg, because that's about the time any kind of really fast warp kit rushes could be coming down line. You know, at the same time though, Hunter is just chrono boosting his probes as of now, taking both gases at your natural, indicating he wants to go a bit more macro focused, at least making sure he can get some kind of heavy tech play going. And there comes a robotics facility first actually coming down from Hunter. Could be using this in the same way that Liquid Mana did in the previous series against LiquidSnute, just going for some kind of immortal center play. But at the same time, you could also just use it to gain the observer early, make sure you can scout his opponent, and at the same time getting those immortals out against any kind of heavy roach play in the early game. But You know, for now, LiquidSnute is just content droning up, getting sure he can get his economy saturated as fast as possible, even adding on a lair for later tech.
Right. No, that lair, without any Roach Warren down, spells mutas. And I'm getting the nerd chills here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see some Snute mutas come out. Oh, possibly not, actually. He is getting the Roach Warren down now. It's a little bit later than we normally see it with that lair tech on the way. And I guess since we didn't see any extra extractors being laid down as the lair was placed, we may not see that muta play. I mean, it's still possible. Could be using the Roach Warren as a little bit of a crutch in the background, but that's, of course, to be told. 22 Zerglings on the way, so that brings a little bit more of that idea of the Spire. Lair Tech has finished up. We're going to have to see what that decision is from him. Hunter's got a lot of gateways that just finished up here, Emperor. Currently 6 gateways, adding into the total of 7 with the Robo. Hydralisk Den is down right now from Snute, so not going in any mutalist play. My nerd chills have come to an abrupt end. But you know what, man? A Hydra Roach composition could work out pretty well against this. It just depends on when Hunter goes for that Colossus.
To be honest, I think we're actually going to be seeing the same build Mana basically did here with the heavy Sentry Immortal type of play, going for that 2-base all-in. He could start to add Colossus afterwards, but only if he is repelled. And to be honest, at that point, Snute might just have too much production for him to handle. And I have to say, I love this move out with the Zerglings, getting just around there on the Sentries, taking on a few of them, or at least forcing a lot of force field. Not to mention that this does delay the push coming out from Hunter for a very long time, allowing him to get some Hydras out, allowing him to get more Links out, allowing him to get the units he need to actually push this army off, and even more Zerglings are coming in. This is looking worse and worse for Hunter at this point.
It looks like these sentries are going to be worse for the wear here as they do get taken out. Still have 5 of them left. Couple more warp-ins with the mobile pylon, aka the warp prism in deploy mode. We do see a forward pylon has been placed down here by the Ursadak Calf. Save the Ursadak, ladies and gentlemen. Very important cause. Got some roaches and Zerglings and Hydras out here. They're going to be starting to work on that Mothership Core. Mothership Core has fallen. That's a big, big deal. No recall is going to be happening right now from Hunter. Needs to get out that Mothership Core. Once again, he's going to go ahead and pull back right now. Laying down a few force fields as Snute goes ahead and takes the defensive precautions.
So overall, I mean, NrSHunter has been delayed a lot. He is doing a lot of warp-ins here, so he's going to be getting a decent unit counter, especially if he could just land a couple of good force fields, separating Roaches and Hydras and allowing those sellouts to close in. He should be able to trade very cost efficiently against this, and this might in the end be what he needs to overpower Snute. At the same time, though, 9 Hydras are in production, so a lot of units are going to be coming his way. Some Links are coming back to reinforce as well, but to be honest, if those had been with the main army, I think he would have been able to trade a lot better. Now he's going to be separated between the natural and the third, and he's going to be having a very hard time actually engaging. Drones are being pulled, but I'm not sure if it's enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Nice little pick up there, saving that Stalker's life. He's going to go and drop it down, move to the mobile pylon there with the Warp Prism. Going to be warping in some forces. No, nice pickoff. Looks like we're going to see Snute taking out that Warp Prism, causing the cancel of all those forces. He is going to go ahead and bring that defense, having the defender's advantage, losing all of his drones in the mineral line of his natural expansion, however, does hold, but a very, very costly hold there. 7,700 down the drain for Snute, 6,400 down the drain here for Hunter. Hunter taking down a hell of a lot of drones there. 32 drones died, bringing only 28 drones on the field right now for Snute. So Snute, he's going to try to bring a counter, but with the sentry count stacking up from Hunter in the background, he's going to be able to block this out for quite some time here, Emperor. And you know what? Snute's going to have to rebuild that drone count, get those 3 bases sacked and ready to go with a nice economic standpoint, because Hunter is going to have all the defense measures he needs, not to mention a forward-facing pylon warping in Zealots.
Yeah, I don't think Snute could actually break that front and should be pulling back. Very nice decision of him to do that. It might just be a little bit too late with all these Zealots going straight at the third base, taking down the out really fast, and that will make any kind of follow-up push coming out from Hunter that much stronger. With Snute only sitting at 2 bases with 44 drones, not the economy you want to have at this point. With that said, though, he still has some Roaches, still has some Hydras, and he should be able to clean these sellouts up rather cost efficiently. But even so, overall, Hunter is looking to be in a rather decent position here. Either he can take a very strong third himself, or he could do a second follow-up push that will be almost impossible to hold because of that economical situation.
Now, players agreed on a best of 3. The stats in Go4sc2 Cup do say best of 5, folks. But the players agreed on a best of 3, so that becomes a best of 3. Simply because Hunter is from Korea. He is super late for him. He wants to get this done, and he wants to play it all and give his 100% during this best of 3. So I just want to point that out there for all those not in the know. Now you are. Now you understand what's going on. LiquidSnute losing that hatchery to some Zealots, man. Definitely a troublesome situation to be in. Lost even more drones, a couple more drones. Actually, it didn't look like he lost any drones. He was able to pull those drones back for the most part, but still, it was a big loss. Needs to rebuild that third, and it is on the way once again. He did take out the left-hand picnicking pylons. So, with that, Hunter has expanded. He's got plenty of sentries to hold off anything Snute's going to throw across the field here. But Snute, with his very awesome scouting ability, will see that third and knows that a fourth is needed to be taken from him.
Yeah, he's going to have to go full drone mode on this, taking the third base, taking the fourth, continuing to pumping out drones non-stop to at least around 70 drones so he can compete with the economy of his opponent, or else he will be just overrun. Another issue is that he needs to be getting some more advanced sectors. Already one Colossus out, a second is on the way with 2 Immortals and plenty of force field out there for Hunter. Means that his army is going to be extremely strong against any kind of pure lair tech composition. The infestation pit is on the way though, so eventually he should be able to get that hive out. The question is, will he be able to get it out in time before Hunter can actually do something?
Now, that is the main question here. Hive tech is on the way, dude, from Stu. So we are going to see him move up into that nice set of that nice bracket of endgame technology. Snute's got his fourth. He saw the third. He knew he had to take his fourth, so he lays it down. With those Colossus, 2 in the numbers, third one on the way out. Thermal Lance research just finished up. So what is Snute's option into this end game? Well, the Hive is going to be able to dictate that for us. He's going to be able to get out some Vipers. Going to be able to lay down the Cloud. Be able to use the Abduction to pull in these Colossus. The only thing we don't see here to counter that Colossus play is any corruptors. And those corruptors are not even going to be out on the field to lay down corruption on the Immortals, which can be such a powerful defensive measure when trying to take down such a composition that Hunter's rolling with right now.
I think it's going to be all about the Vipers this game. The problem is that NrSHunter is looking to hit a timing right before that happens. Even with the superior upgrades going down the line, NrSHunter army is looking way superior at this point in time. The Hive is finishing up now and Vipers are on the way, but it's going to take 40 seconds before they can get out. And if Hunter goes for the attack before that time, he's going to be able to demolish the ground army of LiquidSnute. And even if he gets the Vipers at this point, it doesn't matter if you don't have the units to abuse them. And this is going to be a tight hold for both for Snute.
That's right, it is. Those Hydras are literally shaking in their little Hydra boots there. Now, good thing Hydras only need 1 boot because they don't really have any legs. Now, we do see the Vipers are out on the field. They're going to be pulling in some energy, sapping the life from their buildings here. We do see the force now coming in right now. Big force field plays. We got some hallucinating Colossus in the background here as well. Abductions on the hallucinations, not on the real Colossus. 2 Colossus do get pulled in, however, one of them does go down. Looks like these Colossus in the background are going to be doing a big, liberal amount of damage here to the forces of Snute. Snute's going to have to go and back up for the time being. He sent the drones off the line here, and it looks like he's going to have to try to defend against us. Now, more hallucinations all over the place. There are no overseers, so he does not know which one is real and which one is not. And it looks like Hunter is going to take the plus 12 in this engagement because he is just taking that natural down and he is smacking down all of these Hydras. 1 Colossus left standing, dude. The defense may come down to the nitty-gritty and we may see Snute defend, but my god, man, at what cost is that going to take? Another Viper hits the field here, Marcus, but is it going to be enough, dude?
It doesn't seem like it at this point. A lot of drones going down here for LiquidSnute. The rest of the Hydras are being picked off one by one. The Queen going down as well. Some Roaches are on the way, but Snute just not having the production, just not having the economy being able to deal with that increased number of Warplanes coming down from Hunter overall. Some Queens and some Roaches are on the way, but to be honest, with that Immortal in the back, with the Stalker count being at what it is, and with the Zealots there to tank at the front, I'm not sure what Snute is going to be able to do at this point, especially with these Zealots going into that third base. Should we actually be able to deny it, forcing Snute to be back in 2-base economy, which is not a position you want to be against a 3-base Protoss. The Vipers are here. I would have liked to see some Blinding Clouds, and there it goes, allowing him to trade more cost efficiently against the Stalkers, but in the end, it seems like it might not be enough.
8 more roaches are on the way. Not sure if that's going to be enough to solidify some type of big defense, but I'll tell you, this Roach palling around with them Zealots, that was pretty cool there. Those Zealots let that Roach live for so long. But Hunter is going to go ahead and warp in some more units, and those are 3 sentries and a lot more Zealots, and that's why he's got the sentries. Force filling off that ramp. Going to be moving right now into the third base here. It looks like that third base is going to be under heavy fire. Some Blinding Cloud does go down, but it's going to be aborted for the most part as forces move past that. The GG does hit the field, which means Hunter takes the first game from the maddening clutches of Snute. Big plays going down from Hunter, dude. That was a sick game, and Hunter played it out really, really well.
Ooh, that was...
yeah, sorry. What do you think about Hunter's playstyle, and what do you think that LiquidSnute could have possibly done?
I think the opening worked out pretty decently for Hunter getting that Nexus first. After that, I feel that Snute did a really good job delaying that Immortal Sentry link, picking off those sentries, but he mispositioned his Zerglings quite a bit during the initial engagement once NrSHunter actually got to the third of his opponent, not taking the optimal fight he could be taking, allowing Hunter to get a decent trade. And in the end, he defended that attack, but it cost him so much, it was really hard to come back from that point. And I have to say, I really like the choice of Hunter just going for that third base, and instead of going for a second Immortal All-In, which you can hold with that type of army, going for those extra Colossus, because you know your opponent is so behind on the economy, losing so many drones, that of course his tech is going to be delayed as well, allowing you to do that kind of Colossus push. So Snute definitely had to hold that initial push a little bit better, but if he had done that, I think he would have been in a very solid position.
I want to give a shout out right now to Firefork, Mr. Subscriber. Going to be hanging out in the chat, guys. A big shout out to Drakkar UK as well. Another one here for Boogie and OBD Viper, keeping the chat going out there in the chat, so to say. Now we got a restroom break happening. Snute down a point. Needs to bring this back. A lot of people have been saying Protoss OP, oh Protoss Imba, all this other stuff, right? Well, you know what, man? Master or high master, grand level master play, like the high-end play for Protoss, may be a little bit imbalanced right now. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details of it. I'm just look at the stats. All right, look at the stats, Cupcake, because you go and look at all the tournaments that have been won, all the big tournaments, all the small tournaments that have been won in the past month and a half, 2 months. Pretty much all Protoss, dude.
Yeah, I have to agree, even as a Protoss is pretty strong now. Overall, though, I feel the biggest problem seems to be Terran. They seem to struggle quite a bit in the late game. So I think that once that is fixed, the game will be rather balanced. But, we didn't come here to balance talk. We came here to cause awesome StarCraft games. And it's going to be Snute against NrSHunter and Overgrowth next, with Hunter leading, taking that initial first game. So we're going to have to see if Snute can actually take 2 games in a row and make a comeback, or if NrSHunter is going to be doing another clean sweep.
Well, man, all the Snute fans, all those Snooters out there, looking at their computer screens, grabbing their monitors with both hands and shaking it. Come on, Snute. We'll see if he can make it happen. What do you guys think out there in the chat could actually make him win this next game against Hunter? Some early action? Is that something that we could see from him? Or is it going to be some crazy macro styling? Because we are here on Overgrowth. Now, we've seen some interesting things from Zerg versus Protoss and Overgrowth, Marcus, with that forward proxy hatch right in the natural expansion of their opponent. I don't know, and I don't think we're going to see it here, but it would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's even that option to take that gold expansion as well. So we could see a lot of of crazy strategies. Snute is known for mostly his very solid play though, at least in the opening stages of the game. Of course, you could potentially see some crazy moves in the later stages. Like, for example, in CVCs, LiquidSnute has been known to sometimes do, like, Nidus, Roach, Queen against meta plays, for example.
Right.
But, you know, in the opening, I do expect a very standard opener, at least for Snute.
Well, 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 sir. We continue to wait. Just gonna let the music play for now. I might just run and take a bio break real fast if this doesn't go in the next 30 seconds. Looks like I'm doing it. I'll be right back.
So it seems like that counter has already begun. Not sure if Depths is ready for his bio break.
Ha Holy crap and a hat being beat by 12-year-olds with baseball bats. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our next game coming down the line at this Go4sc2 Cup awesome event of badass Sundays. That's right. It's 150 euros up for grabs. This is the grand finals. And we've got a PVZ of epic proportions for you. If you didn't see the first game, we'll get into that in a second. We see the LiquidSnute coming down here into the bottom left-hand corner as that blue Zerg. And up here is his opponent.
It is a red Protoss NrSHunter sitting at one game compared to his opponent only needing one more game to be winning over Snute in this grand final series.
Yep. And that last game, man, Hunter in a very, very fantastic position from the beginning on. Using that probe very, very well, that scouting probe. He was able to go in, deny that third base for a little bit of time from Snute, and then, you know, being able to read what Snute was going for, seeing the fact that there was no Spire out, and he went Mass, Roach, Hydra, he was able to lay down a very, very cool Colossus Immortal Sentry build with the Stalkers and Zealot to boot. But it really caused some big problems for Snute, man.
Yeah, Snute was not able to deal with that. This time, though, Snute is the one that's going to be bringing the aggression, going for what I believe was a 10 pool, opening up with a lot of Zerglings here, maybe anticipating the same Nexus first that Hunter did go for in the last game. Unfortunately for him, Hunter did go for that in-base gateway expand, which is a bit harder to actually deal with. That said, though, with no wall on the ramp, if he can just keep on rallying in, he might be able to do some damage to that mineral line. But it's all going to come down to the defense coming out here from Hunter, and he's already started chrono boosting out his first sellout. So we're going to have to see if LiquidSnute can make some magic happen there.
It's all been scouted. He knows all about what's happening. Hunter's moving some of his probes out here to hang out with the Zealot to try to deal with these Zerglings as they come up the ramp, and this is a very cool position for him. He will lose these probes, but that Zealot is going to be doing a nice bit of damage. Taking on the first Zergling now. More Zerglings going to be pulling back, waiting for the rest to come across the field. Now, drones are being produced in the background from this attack, so he is not going all in here, people. Just semi all in. Second Zealot is out on the field here. The Zergling is going to have to be microed. Oh, and losing quite a bit there. Only 5 left. Hatchery coming down here. Has denied Hunter for a little bit of time on getting any type of tech, or even his Warp Gate tech finished up, or started even. Warp Gate tech is on the way. So it worked in a sense that he caused some big delays for Hunter, but Emperor, it didn't work in the ways of, you know, really gaining that economic situation over his opponent. wasn't able to do any big probe damage.
Yeah, he killed a few probes, but not enough to warrant such an early pool timing out from LiquidSnute. The good thing from his, though, is that he has delayed the expansion of his opponent to such an extent that the hatchery will almost be done by the time the Nexus is coming up here from Hunter. So overall, it will allow him to drone up and get a decent economic situation rolling. He needs to be a bit careful, though, because there are already 2 cells and a Stalker with the Mudship core out, and he does not have the Zergling count to actually hold a counterattack. Should that be going down the line from Hunter here. So he's going to have to produce either some more Zerglings, get a Spinecrawler, or just get some defense overall, but he's still droning up non-stop. Very nice counterattack coming down from Snute, though, trying to force his opponent to stay defensive, not moving out, buying himself even more time to get the economical situation running.
Tearing down a probe as we get a little bit of lag coming down from one of the casters. Very unfortunate out there for, I believe that's Poison TV's caster. Hopefully he can restream if he does actually get dropped. But, you know, it's not just us who have had tech issues today. It seems that it's a worldwide phenomenon. But, I mean, Marcus, let's go ahead and take a look in a book right now and see what we got on the field. It's good that Snute has been able to hold his opponent back into his base, as well as because he needed to drone up really heavily since he didn't go for that early expand. But he's got the early, I mean, he's got his expansion down and out now. These Zergling's going to go ahead and work on that probe. The caster's back, so we're good to go. A couple more probes have fallen here, and it looks like overall he's taken down 3 probes with those Zerglings. So not, you know, not the worst trade for that amount of Zerglings coming in there. They basically paid for themselves. Another expansion going to be coming down here in the background from Snute. Now Snute, a little bit on the back foot, needs to make sure that expansion happens.
Yeah, I think that was a very nice trade overall for Snute, and allowing him to grow, to drone as greedy as he has been doing, allowed himself to get in a pretty decent position overall, losing a couple of drones to these zealots overall, but still, it is 30 drones to 20 probes at this point in time, with the natural base of Hunter not being saturated. So overall, I have to say, LiquidSnute has definitely pulled himself back into this game, and with the speed about to finish here, he might be able to do even more damage because there's no complete wall up yet. It is coming down up though, so Hunter might just have what he needs to actually hold this up.
Yeah, it looks like the defensive posture here from Hunter is going to be just A-okay to handle it with that Mothership core in tow, with the 2 Stalkers out there, and with that full-on soft wall. Level 1 attack upgrade is on the way down from him. Would love to see a cannon behind that soft wall to bring a little bit of extra damage against any Zerglings to try to make it through. Nice pick off of the probe, causing some big problems there for Hunter's push, allowing him to buy more time. Now, Snute's playing the time game here. He's got to get that 3rd up before this, you know, he's got to get that 3rd up, and it's got to be uncontested and unmolested because, you know, any problems that go across onto that 3rd is going to be big strain on the economic situation for Snute. And he really needs that economy to be rocking and rolling and stellar within the next couple of minutes, because we're going to start to see the movement and transition here from Hunter and to see what he's going to be going for into this mid-game. Whether it's a lot of gateways, whether it's the 7-gate robo that we've seen from him in the past, or if he's going to go into something a little bit different with the tech pathing.
Going for the robo first again kind of makes me think that he's going to be doing the same Immortal Sentry type build that he did in last game, because despite him losing so many sentries and being delayed so much by the initial Zerglings of Snute, Snute was not able to hold it comfortably. With that said though, it all depends on the gateway count. Currently only 2 more has been added, and he's going to be needing to add at least a couple of more eventually if he wants to bring that heavy aggression. The Chrono Boost is going out on the Immortal though, so he definitely has the potential to bring the pain train to LiquidSnute.
Now, shout out to Zergazor out there in the chat. It is a best of 3. These players agreed on a best of 3 match, so they will continue the best of 3. Now, for those who can't see, it's 1 point up there for NrSHunter. Snute currently sitting on a donut, and you can ask any physician, any doctor, that sitting on a donut is not a comfortable place to be. A couple of Zerglings are poking around the map here, Marcus, so they're keeping up nice map awareness out there. I love this. Snute's Overlord over the 3rd base area of his opponent, keeping an eye on when that 3rd's going to come. He knows I mean, it's 10:30. There wasn't any big push coming down from Hunter. He knows that this is about the time that we're going to start to see an expansion come down from him, and we see more gateways coming down in the background. So it definitely does look like it's going to be that 7-gate Justice with that Sentry Immortal push, and this is where he starts to move out. The creep spread is going down on that Overlord that's over the 3rd, so the denial of that is happening. This is going to allow Hunter to force all of his money into this 2-base aggression, and let's see how it's going to pan out for him here.
At this point, Snute knows what is coming. There's no 3rd base on the way, as evident by that Overlord, as we were talking about. And it seems like he's prepared rather well. I mean, the entrance here into the 3rd is rather wide, especially with these roaches positioned a little bit here on the outside. And with the hiders on the back and 9 more in production, Regal Constitution just finished, Groove Spines is almost finished, and the 1 ranged weapon is as well. I feel he is more than enough units to actually be able to deal with this push. Then again, in the last game, he did do some missteps in the engagement once that actually came down. And if that happens again, you know, there's no point in hiding that NrSHunter can definitely be bringing the pain train here, allowing him to eventually secure him a win. But 164 supply worth of Roach Hider Link is a pretty hefty force to be reckoned with.
Not to mention the money that he's got backed in the background here is enough to send his kids to college. We're going to go ahead and see this one. Queen takes some big damage. The force is moving in from Hunter. He's going to lay down 3 force fields right now on the left-hand side. The right-hand side gets about 4 force fields there, blocking out the forces. He's going to pull back. Few Zerglings trying to make it out there. Now, the ramp has been cleared, so Snute has destroyed that ramp. No Blink Tech. No Twilight Council, no 3rd base. This is an all-in if I've ever seen one. He's going to go in for here. This Snoot's going to go and pile the Hydras on the left. Roaches on the right. Taking down a couple of those sentries, and it looks like one of those Immortals have fallen as well. I don't know, man. That's a lot of Hydras. That's a lot of damage to come out here. Hunter's got to handle this very well, and Snoot's forcing all of his fields down. And with all these force fields being forced, I mean, it's going to be less and less energy for these sentries overall. Once the actual engagement actually does come to full fruition here, we're going to see those Hydras now pulling around the background. It looks like they are going to take down a lot of these Zealots right off the bat. The GG goes down. The all-in is not going to work. Way too much. Snute way too strong as we see him take the victory, bringing us to that ever so amazing ace match situation.
Very nice defense for Snute overall. They're positioning himself perfectly, baiting the force field, going back and forth, making sure he's not committing before he knew that he could actually get the concave he wanted. Also splitting off those Hydras to deal with the Warp Prism. That was just, I think, the perfect way to actually hold that all in. Forcing those force field out, and eventually, I mean, there was like 29 Hydras combined with a decent Roach count and some Lings. It's just way too hard for any Protoss army to handle unless you have some AoE, which naturally he didn't have since he went for the Immortal Center early.
We got the next game queued up here as it is the ace match. 1-1, guys. The gloves are off, and this is going to be a bloody, bloody bout. PVZ, we are ready here. Let me know who you guys think is going to win. And yes, Macamee's Frank and Beans, definitely OP. And that's definitely what I'm having for lunch. Let's go ahead and get this next game coming down the line here as the countdown has begun. Without any temporal distortion, it will come to an end. So go ahead and hide those mothership cores for now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pros and scrubs, welcome to Emma TV, where everything is in balance. We got our next game rocking and rolling, locked and loaded. And Emperor, who are these players? Where are we at? And what is the score?
This time it's going to be the last map of the series. 1 point to Hunter, 1 to LiquidSnute. It is going to be on Nimbus LE. In the top left corner, we have our blue Zerg for Team Liquid. It is Snute. And in the bottom right corner, we have our red Protoss. It is NrSHunter.
Now, last game, definitely swayed into Snoot's favor, without a doubt. Definitely did a very, very nice set of movements, very good decision making, was able to hang out on his 3 bases on overgrowth and really block the lines of Hunter. Now Hunter went for that 2-base, 7-gate robo all-in Immortal Sentry push. Yes, it's a mouthful, but that is exactly what he went for. And, you know, we saw Snoot able to justify what was coming across the field, able to get out the amount of Hydras and Roaches to really bar down the walls. So, therefore, when that attack inevitably came in from Hunter, he had wasted so many of those force fields on getting it going down that it was difficult for him to, you know, continue on and make that win happen. So let's take a look at this game, because it is 1-1. It is the ace match, and we've got a Forge right off the bat, and a Probe has moved out of the base and is on the way across. And yes, a second Probe is 2. So double scouts with a Forge first. Emperor, it could only mean one thing.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to see if he can get a cannon rush going, but his opponent is going to be in the cross position where he will be scouting last. Not to mention that with the pool first, I'm not sure if he will be able to get that going. I guess he did anticipate the hatch first on this map simply because of how long the rush distances are and because it is a 4-player map, but no, Snoot is going to be playing this very carefully though. With that said, instead of going for that very secure in-base expansion, he is going to be taking a little bit of a risky second base. And if Hunter could spot that maybe potentially behind the mineral lines there, he could be getting a cannon rush rolling. 2 Zerglings are on the way though.
Now, I don't think we're going to see any type of cannon rush here. He checked the closed ground positioning, did not see Snoot. It's still, it's still possible. And it looks like it might be happening here. It looks like the first pylon has gone down. The only reason why I said it wasn't was because we did see the Nexus go down in the background, and the timing was so delayed that the Zergling should be out. But the Overlord not being on top of this expansion yet, and is in the wrong position, dude. He is not going to see this. Those cannons are going to go down, and it's going to be blocked and locked. And there it is.
This is probably going to be too late for Snoot to handle, I think. I mean, the Queen is coming down here, but I can't see any other option than the castle. But no, he's going to let it live. Yep. He's going to be trying to save it, but with 4 cannons on the way, I mean,
he didn't even see it, man.
The Queen is not going to be enough.
Like before it happened, like even that Probe was in the fog of war because this Overlord was not in the right position. So Snoot, a big, crucial mistake happening for him. Those cannons are going to ravage that expansion. Now another expansion has gone down in the background here, Emperor, and this game, it's just going to become crazy from this point on.
I mean, the amount of minerals invested into the cannons kind of makes the game rather even. If they just committed to like 1 or 2 cannons, I think that Hunter would have been in a very clearly superior position. But at this point, I mean, LiquidSnute can still bring it back. Very nice block there on the potential 3rd base for LiquidSnute. With that pylon, though, delaying the base for so incredibly long time. I mean, he's not going to be getting his 3rd before about around the 6-minute mark, which is not a position you want to be in as a Zerg. With that said, the tech is severely delayed for Hunter as well, only now finishing his gateway up. And
only now finishing his 2nd gas as well. But you know what, man? He wanted to force that 3rd away from Snoot, and he did that. We'll have to see if it's actually going to pay those dividends. Now, no extractors out for Snoot as of yet. Seemingly, he wants to get those drones up. He needs to get a very cool economic situation behind him. Already starts to have the creep spread going down here, so that's nice to see from him. We do see the simulators now coming down inside the natural expansion of Hunter, as he did take that safe base expand play while he laid down the cannons against Snoot. Now, soft walls up. No real big army out at all from Hunter. He's got his cyber core very delayed, as you mentioned earlier. So it seems that this game has, you know, petered out to a very even point between these two, and we're even seeing a late game drone trick to bring that extra drone out here for Snoot, or the Queen anyway, to start that Queen production.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be, you know, the game is going to be stabilizing pretty evenly here for the moment. The tech is pretty delayed for Hunter, but at the same time, the economy, of course, was delayed quite a bit for LiquidSnute. Now, I did notice a little bit of a chrono boost actually going onto the warp gate there. Could, of course, be just because he wants to catch up because he was delayed,
Compensate,
but
yeah.
no, additional gates are actually being thrown out, so it's not just to compensate. He's going to be going completely all on this. 7 gates are up, and there are no overlords in position to really scout at this point. He sees the double gas on that natural base, and the only thing that tells Snoot is that normally the Protoss wants to go for a heavy tech build, but that's not what's going on here. There is 7 gates on the
More
way,
than
and
that,
he's
dude.
train. Oh my god.
Yeah, 7 gates are on the way. So we've got this huge, huge 9-gate play coming down the line from Hunter. This is an all-in if I've ever seen one, man. Level 1 attack upgrade's going to be finished as well, dude. With Warp Gate Tech being chrono boosted out avidly. This could be very painful for Mr. Snoot. So Snoot's going to have to be able to be aware of this. And as you said, no Overlord has scouted it. Roach Warren and Hydra Den are on the way. Roach Warren finished up. Glory Constitution is coming down. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. This is going to be a big movement coming across the field right now from Hunter. And he's got, you know, he's got a good 800 minerals, 900 gas saved up in the bank. So lots of warpins, dude.
It seems like Snoot knows what's up, though, starting to produce a lot of roaches at this point. And if he can just get a decent amount of roaches with Goliath Constitution, he should be in an okay position to take this, especially with the creep
Good
here,
surround.
letting it circling, actually getting a surround on the stalkers. More stalkers and a few sentries. Of course, will out those roaches are coming up, though. But with that pickup on those rocks, he should be able to get down that ramp, as it is very wide once you actually open up those roads. Some decent force fields are going down, but overall it seems like the road count is just too superior here for LiquidSnute. And, you know, Hunter is going to have to bring his A game here to actually be bringing this game to his point, because even Hydras are on the way here.
That's right. Those Hydras, as we know, counter them gateway units all the way across the sky. Hunter going to be pulling back here, trying to build up on this 2-base all-in status. Snoot currently on 24 roaches. Got 2 Hydras on the way, 4 more on the way out. We do see Groove Spines coming down, so he's going to have the extra range on those Hydras. Now a couple force fields are going down as the roaches are going to go ahead and deal with the Stalkers in the front. Sentry staying alive for the time being. No Guardian Shields going down. They are very low on the energy barometer. We are going to see these roaches here get cleaned up for the most part, but the Hydras coming in, doing a lot of actual damage against these Stalkers. And the Stalkers have pretty much all fallen here, Emperor. More roaches coming in, and that's 16 more roaches. The GG has to go down. Hunter cannot bring this game to any forward point for himself. Snoot is going to take the win 2-0, and my God, all the Hunter fans are now shaking their heads at the floor because Hunter was looking so good. He won the first game, dude.